You need not fear my
I
claws,
wonder
devil.
how much.
Any friend of Moon Girl is a friend of mine. Aha!
Cut the show. Cut the show. They take your turn stomping on Patrick Bobby. Yeah. Now it's done took out. You around me now. They going for rubbers. You know, just disrespectful. Now, if you have yet to come to an answer on whose church that is, I'll give you another hint. The same people whose church this is. That's right. All up in the church. Yes, in the church of Naga. You know, the kind of place where you feel comfortable posting himself as your Lord and Savior. He learned that day, didn't he? He definitely learned that day. He didn't want it with the Pope. Found out when he watched Conclave. Don't mess with them Cardinals. Had got so he's trying to flew the Pope out. And take him on vacation because of how bad that went. Well, I can tell you this. Even this, the apologists within the church of America. What I really appreciate about President Trump, as if he has been, what in my opinion, the most pro-faith president in my life, correct. And what I appreciate is every time I'm around him, he's like, we need more faith in America. I know so many people caught up, like, well, he says this and he says this. I'm like, okay, well, let's say he is a baby Christian for a second, okay?
There's another one down. The Jalia can wait. The hunt is not over.
How can you have so much grace with other baby Christians and you don't have it with him? Why are you fine with Justin Bieber's and all these other celebrities and all these other people getting saved and like, hey, they're just learning and everybody else has a learning curve, but he doesn't have a learning curve. And it's amazing how fast people on social media that try to live in mom's business are so quick to say, like, he's not acting like a Christian. You're not acting like a Christian. Like, the sin in your life, the plank in your eyes, I mean, come on, God. So, but what I love about President Trump is that he respects God. He respects pastors. He'll drop curse words and then apologize to Franklin Graham for the curse word that he knows he's in a room full of pastors. Like, sorry guys, but you need to stay on your toes. Things like that. He's a unique individual, but he has a respect for God. And he has a respect for pastors. And I believe that he's for his purpose. Okay, he respects God and he respects pastors. Unless they're brown, Latino, gay, or Democrats. Correct. And they certainly can't be in no conflict. As long as you worship him, he respects God and pastors. Am I right? I mean, we heard it from Paula White herself.
Without assignment to stay married to President Trump would be saying no to God.
Wait, one more time?
Without assignment to stay married to President Trump would be saying no to God.
Saying no to President Trump would be saying no to God. What am I saying? This what y'all for? This exactly what y'all stands for. That's right. The physical incarnation of your God walking around with that on his head. And don't get me started with what's in his child pet. Y'all did that. But I take issue with this. So Trump deserves grace because he's a baby Christian. What's that baby boy? So let me tell you, he's always been going to church. He's a long-time Christian. Right? I mean, he can't quote no Bible verses, but that's the thing. Even if I wanted to give him the latest, most cynical possible birth date on his Christianity, sometime around 2015, 2016, by now, that baby would be able to quote somebody. No, I went to Sunday school. 17-year-olds, they can quote something from the Bible. Literally anything. I'm telling you, his Christianity is so old, They would prosecute it as an adult if it was black. But yet, you want to make excuses. That is the church of MAGA. And you know, if you want to know exactly what they're learning in the church of MAGA, well, why don't you go ahead and consult Republican Jesus? Start fresh. Follow the Republican Jesus. That's the biggest test his disciples came to see. Republican Jesus. These people have been following me for 3 days and they become very hungry. We only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And Republican Jesus said, "Bring the fish and the bread to me." And his disciples did. And Republican Jesus took 99% of the bread and fish and gave the 1% back to the disciples to spread amongst the followers evenly. And the disciples said, "But how shall we feed all these people with only 1% of bread and fish?" And Republican Jesus said, "Why are these people always looking for it? They should just go out and get a job." The disciples were involved. Republican Jesus' wisdom. Good old Republican Jesus. And yet, in true MAGA fashion, y'all love to sit here and cast aspersions on other people's faith. I live in East Tennessee. I've told the story on Flashpoint before that when one of my kids was in middle school, there was kitty litter boxes in the public schools for the boys that or the girls that identify as furries. Yeah. I mean, this is in the Bible Belt, so we have to be watchmen on the wall and say, no, we're going to recover Los Angeles, Chicago, but also the Bible Belt, Tennessee, Texas, Kentucky, Alabama. On our watch, we're not going to allow this, whether it's Islam, wokeism, it cannot infiltrate our schools, and it's going to take moms and dads that are committed to being those watchmen on the wall for the children. But yet, look who's put in charge of that baby Christian that you guys worship.
And they're not going to pay that. You need to send in $3,500. You need to send in $35,000. You need to send in that $100,000 check. If you do not write that PO box, and you do not call that toll-free number, and you do not become a ministry of sustainer, you will never see sustainment in your life, and your dream will die. Your call will die.
In a world of faith and flashy lights, mega churches and their pastors sometimes come with mega drama. None quite encapsulate that like Pastor Paula White. In her world, marital affair. Bankrupting churches and using church money to pay for plastic surgery aren't unheard of. As a young girl who lived in a trailer and became a young married mother, she grew up to become a preacher. And had an affair with the associate pastor of her church, and not before they ran off together.
That's so MAGA. That's so MAGA. Here I am wondering how MAGA could possibly embrace somebody so ungodly as the Donald Trump. Y'all probably something. Yeah, y'all used to it. Sorry.
Regardless, it seemed Pastor Paula was destined for the stage. She led a congregation of 22,000 members, became a multimillionaire, hosted a Christian TV show, owned a private jet, and an 8,000 square foot beachfront home. She also loved to preach to celebrities, one being Donald Trump, who she helped gain the evangelical vote in 2016. Gone were the days of having women by the Pastor Paula made him shining a deal for these evangelical elites. While you can polish the turf, you can't remove the seed. And a lingering stench of betrayal and grief has followed all of her entire career and early marriages.
Hey, mega pastors, you're not looking good. Y'all need to say something. Y'all need to say something. You all can see that. You look at Paula White, the chief faith advisor to Donald Trump. Look at this slow trying to lay people in the spirit. Speaking in tongues. She's a witch. She's a witch. She's not just a Christian with some bad theology. She is a wolf. She's a false teacher, but even more as a woman. I think that it is actually technically accurate to say she's a false teacher. What is positive? She's rich. She's a witch who has spells. This is what Captain Joel Levinson, the White House State Advisor Paula White, is a witch. She's a witch who casts spells. What? Paula White?
I hate to continue to sin. He's back from Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. It's an ignorant people.
Well, that's interesting. The Christian national pastor is taking shots at some state advisor. And that's why God in His Word, God in the nature that He made, that we need a shot. They need to be quiet. They don't get caught up. They don't get rolled because they do stupid things like this. So true, King. When you need to shut up. I'm sorry. Did you say so true, King? Did you call me, King? You got it? That's in the family. How many grand prizes you got in your phone? That's not good to know. It's so easy. Shut up. You know that's not good. In the church, it's easy answer to decision. When it comes to making decisions, it's actually what the federal tax or tax and that's the this is not really shut up. It is really the case to go. Now, I'll let y'all not to see y'all down to the ground, but I just wanted to yes, so the daughter can talk. You don't mean shut up to the daughter at home, but the mother can't talk. And now we got the daughter can talk, but the mother can't talk. So what's the age? What's the age? My longest will say like 18, maybe 19. Oh, how do they see this? I can see that. That's what I was saying. The school removal. So long as you have democracy coupled with universal suffrage, you'll constantly be going against the grain. You're constantly going to have half of the population voting for symptoms, tolerance. Yes, you can't suicidal. And my point, I guess, is that I don't think you're going to get people to vote away democracy. I'm not going to want to like that, dog. They just do it. They just hold it. That's exactly what it is. I love also that you included tolerance. You know, and the kind of things that you have to eliminate from our society that you're building. That tracks. That tracks. I don't think you're going to get people to vote away democracy or vote for your this up. It can. But my thing is agreeing with you. I think that it has to be. I think that men, virtuous, ambitious, masculine. I never thought that the are long. If you want to talk about masculine men, it's the rest is all like, and somebody with glasses out with me. I know exactly what childhood and puberty was like for you. You don't even talking about no masculine. We all been there.
Masculine men at the time, it's a lot of power and forcefully take away from the people that which is their objective.
Okay, I got it. She's definitely for their own good. When have we heard that before? Oh, we're going to take it away for your own good because you can't be trusted. Eliminating the agency that other people have over their own lives in a world that they don't see. Where all people are created equal. Oh, I should say all men are created equal, isn't that right?
America is one of America's biggest threats. It's white and liberal because they are the ones literally opening the doors, immigration, passing laws that degenerate society, releasing criminals to be the It's why I really believe that we must, heal the nation. The majority of people are not capable of responsibility. You can see that this is these are all people that work. The majority of women can't do this responsibly. And one last thing I want to say. What men are raising these people? Whoever you are, whatever father you are, or whatever husband you are utter disciples and wives, raise your daughters, not defendants, sound judgments, wisdom and understanding, so that we don't have apathy in our hands of people thinking this way.
Now I'm confused because your women saying it's all women, but you go and find so y'all need to sort that out. It looks like they came to an agreement. Both of them are dragging Amy Coney Barrett. God is teaching the American people how devastating it is to have living judges, living compassionate, excellent homes with catastrophic in the courtroom. Not as good. The biggest issue is white liberal women, because those are the ones that are more likely to leave the home, have an addiction, and you working in the public square, things of that nature. But because you ain't got to worry about that for the matter. You no one's outside. But the biggest you also go to do research.
A big focus this movement is on a patriarchal society where men are dominant and women are expected to submit to their husbands.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of. No, it doesn't take any talent. It's reproduced by the wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the company, is entrusted with 3, 4, 5 eternal souls.
I'm here at the work
It's a you.
That is it.
No, it's not automatic.
Josh and Amy's friends, along with their 4 kids, moved here from Washington State.
Do you see Amy as an equal?
Yes and no. In the sense that we're both saved by grace, we're absolutely on equal footing. But we have very different purposes, God-given.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter agree.
Which brings me back to one of the biggest confusions that I have about the MAGA church, because you have women that subscribe to the cult of MAGA, yet act completely oblivious to the misogyny and complete suppression of women that the Christian nationalists had planned. Well, go as far as to take to their platforms and talk about their faith and ignore all of this.
I'm a fan of peace. I helped get in this job. I'll be the first to tell you that. However, I am not a fan of the praying and the constant references to God, Jesus, and the Bible from the Pentagon
while he's announcing war. It makes me very uncomfortable. Very. I do not think those two things belong together. I much prefer the Dan Raising Cane. That's the facts. The religion obviously is a major part of peace life. That's great. I'm in favor of that. It doesn't belong when you're talking about our plans to wipe out people, including possible civilians, as President Trump continues to threaten. These two things do not belong together, and I'm really uncomfortable with it. If Joe Biden did this with his Pentagon, I would have ripped him a new one, and therefore, notwithstanding my friendship with Pete, I feel the need to register my strong objection to what he's doing.
I love her talking about God's references to God offending her and not his pastor wanting her to get justice. You gotta, I mean, the mental gymnastics that it takes for her to do that. Oh, and while we're talking about mental gymnastics, Megan Kelly, you too?
So I really do kind of not only want to see them killed in the water, whether they're on the boat or in the water, but I'd really like to see them suffer. I would like Trump and Hegseth to make it last a long time, so that they lose a limb and bleed out a little. But I'm really having a difficult time gaining sympathy for these guys who 10 seconds earlier almost got taken out by the initial bomb, but because they managed to get ejected, a little too soon, had to be taken out of the water. I realize legally it may make a difference, but I think about the complicated for them to get up to think of these American people.
So let's definitely not take our cues from Megan Kelly when it comes to Christianity values. Particularly comes to violence, but the only one, because you could bring up any of the people that are on Fox News, you could bring up Eric Turner, you could bring up Laura Trump or Melania, but nobody has said a word about all this.
Obedience is doing what your God wants you to do, even when you don't want to do it. Submission, joyful submission, is following your husband, even in times when it doesn't particularly make sense. It's really not simple, but you don't particularly want to do it. And so, why is it so powerful in the world that we live in? Because a world that's filled with insubordinate feminist women, joyful submission is a righteously conceiving witness to the Christian. Because the Bible communicates what is normal and what is God. And when you have the instruction manual for marriage, it's pretty easy. You can follow the rules and rules of marriage, and you have a very ordered marriage. Joy is the result. And that is an extremely powerful evangelistic witness to women when they see your joyful submission and your beautiful ordered family.
That's joyful submission. So we got from Joel Webb and take that from them, which is to their detriment, thinking we know better. And now we're talking about joyful submission. No, you don't want to do it, but you'll enjoy it.
Much better.
Let's tell you, those things could be problems just on an interpersonal level if they spread out throughout the field. That might be why these charges keep filing. That's what it sounds like. That's exactly what it sounds like. Some of them, you want to go back to a world where these things weren't even played out.
I think the effort is to overcome their system. It's moving to that spirit. This is our focus. This is wrapped with moving. In the sense of we're going back to say what the church was believing in Soviet people. I always tell you why. This is almost not. This is our church, not they're modern. Every generation prior to this.
Christian National Pastor Dale Parsons explains his worldview. I'm just a normal guy from like 1880. You don't think a guy from 1880 would be extreme in 2026? I just don't, like, forget your worldview. Let's just think practically. You don't think a guy from 1880 would be extreme in 2026?
0-2-2.
Hell, I'm a guy from 1980, and I done got extreme in 2026, so
Try again. Now, you said 1880, notably setting yourself during Reconstruction and not prior to slavery. So, what's your, I feel like I know, but just where you at with this?
When we moved to Texas, I needed to get a new cardiologist. And so my wife, she does a lot of this for me because before we had kids, she was an RN. And she knows a lot more than I do. And, I let her read those books. She read some other books. Yeah. And so she's doing the research and looking at these things. And she shows me two doctors, both of this within the same practice, same company, hospital. And saying, do you like one over the other? And one was a young white dude and one was a young black dude. And I said, I prefer the young white dude. And this is why. The reason why is not because I'm white, but because we currently live in a historical moment in the West, and particularly in these United States, where I know that both of these guys could be perfectly qualified. But I also know that if there's a chance that one of them was not qualified and was given a free pass, it'd be the black guy. I know that young white guy, there's no way he got a free pass.
Hey, when are they giving out the free doctor passes? Ain't nobody told me. Nobody told. When are they giving out the free doctor passes? Oh, come on. I'll at your boy. And by the way, Joel Webbin, I would love to hear your sermon all about nepotism and the evils of cronyism in our world. I would love to, if you could point me to that sermon, since we talking about people just getting passes through. I would love to. He must have hated Laura Trump at the RNC. That's crazy. And don't get him started with Erica Kirk. I can't wait. I cannot wait to hear those. Mm-hmm. During an interview with Nick Fuentes, fascist Christian nationalist pastor Joel Whitman said it was fair and accurate to claim that all black people are impulsive and lazy and that all Jewish people are subversive. Church America. They're about to drop in these comments. In these comments. In these comments. Oh, they're about to drop. Hey, Joel Webbin, they dragging you for filth. Yup, they breaking your glasses. Hey, come on, play back. Lion, snakes, and children of the devil. Play the full clip, D-man. All right.
I can do that honestly. I don't say historically, I don't say King Alfred. It's what I'm about to describe white people, but today, I'd say all people have to understand that it's all people a generalization. But in the general sense, I say all white people are suicidal, toxic.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
That's why the West is falling apart.
Are you ready to
I could also say all black people are also some particular sense. Songs that also the ones that they say suggestion. Some exceptions in there as well.
You are my prey.
Thought that was helpful?
In 30 seconds.
You really thought that was helpful?
That's very exciting to partner
You need a masculine man to come
Dream come true.
edit
This isn't a
your commentary. That's what you need.
This whole witch hunt for white supremacists who hate brown people simply because they're brown. The reason why that's so lucrative, and there are NGOs with millions and millions of dollars for that, is because the white people in America are predominantly on the page, not racist. white people in America are if anything, I think, too trusting, too gullible, cautious empathy. White people in America are like, you know what? I know that this will kill my grandchildren, but can we just, can we just ask the country of this? Just to be nice. Right, so not only is racism not non-existent, we could probably use a little bit more racism in America.
This is that old school, what is this biggest weakness? I care too much. I just care too much. I can't turn it off. That's what it is. That's what it is. They care too much. You're the only Republican Jesus.
When the Reverend Young speaks, Republican Jesus is a first by imposed blindness. Have mercy on the Republican Jesus, said the blind. And the Republican Jesus said, what is it you want? And the blind man said, Republican Jesus, I'm tired. It's just me. And he healed. And the Republican Jesus said, oh, there didn't take care of that for you. And the blind man said, Republican Jesus, you're right. I'll just go back to being blind. And all this is something going on. The Republican Jesus is wisdom.
But just so I'm clear, your stance is that this part for racists is fruitless because white people are not racist, but they should be. Which is why you would need things like a Southern Poverty, but that's why. But, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, racist! He calling y'all out. He said y'all ain't about nothing. He said white people not racist. Well, say something. They said it was all the left. So, say it on business. White magazine Richard Spencer says that conservatives are dumb for trying to use the Trump administration's politically motivated indictment of the SPLC to claim that the deadly Unite the Right rally was a hoax.
Conservatives are dumb, and they come to the wrong conclusion, and they come to a very self-serving conclusion, which is that anyone who isn't Daily Wire and Matt Walsh or what have you. Anyone who is in a movement conservative is somehow a puppet, and the people pulling the strings are, graduates of Yale University, the military industrial complex, the SPLC, the deep state, etc. And it's all fake and a sham. The fact is, this indictment does not even suggest that. And this is just a very self-serving thing for conservatives to now say, oh, I knew it was a hoax. And Charlottesville, again, it's a complicated matter. Charlottesville was not a hoax.
Do not yield, my friends. Our time is now.
You take away my racism. I hate just as much as y'all do. Even more so, if you don't recognize this. Come on. We've been out here racist and white for decades. And they don't want to acknowledge, you know what I mean? Like, we've been putting in work.
The hunt is not over.
Hey, who you think? We didn't even rock with W. Now, just as a mental exercise, Christian nationalists, I understand that you don't think that there's racism, but that people should be racist. So, what does a society look like? As y'all see it. Christian nationalist podcaster Joshua Hayes says Christians should defend the institution of slavery because the Bible makes it clear that it's not inherently evil to own another human being.
The institution of slavery is not inherently evil. You guys upset by that? And you guys say, I've been saying that for years. It's a further. It is not inherently evil to own another human being. Wait, let's talk through this because it is very important that every Christian affirm what I just said. Not only should they affirm it, every Christian today's society should be able to defend and every Christian should be they've been evangelical and you've been getting this wrong since the St. Ecclesiastes, Genesis, Eva. Haven't had a good answer to the slavery issue. Christians in America have been afraid on this topic. They've been led to believe things that the Bible doesn't teach. And when we go beyond the Bible, there are dire consequences.
And when you make that point in 2020, it's pretty clear the kind of social order and world order they like to win. And you put a battery in the back of the congregation.
White strangers, the black strangers, they 30 times more than the facts. I'm not saying it. What harm should they do? What harm? They're black. That's the way I feel black and white all this is medicine.
The Princess moved in on New Year's Eve Day a year ago while the Princess and their son slept. A pipe bomb exploded on the porch and smashed through the windows of the house. Attached to the bomb was a note that read, "Let's be warned. We have time. We will get this firstborn first." It was signed, Beaver Ball, KKK. The two men that died in the bombing were acquitted by all five juries. Now I make this point anytime I have an opportunity. When you have people that are stressing black people, but something supposedly to bring trouble and are willing to mob out in the streets in order to make their point. The thing that we're projecting on them. If Europeans and stereotypes aren't based on anything, then what do they mean? That's the case when they're directed at black folk. That's the case when they're directed at women. And it's certainly the case when it's directed at Trump. Despite being maybe the most maybe Christian woman picked up in their school. I mean, what if they take something, no good question, but y'all still make an excuse. What's that going with it?
Are you out? What's going to happen is one of the two parties is going to have to be taken over. And I think that they've already worked well on the way to taking over the GOP. The GOP would be massive problems, especially that fourth bill in here. The GOP is just blindly Zionists. We all know this. But the GOP stands, I think, the better chance to be taken over than the Democrat Party. Not if. It's simply when. I don't know if we get candidates like that for 2028. I think that probably the GOP gets crushed in the midterms in 2026. And the GOP deserves it. I hope that they get crushed good and hard because that's what they've earned. But in 2028, maybe we can improve. Probably won't get a presidential candidate that fits the bill that I just described. And then the GOP will probably get crushed again. And it'll be what they deserve. But in the near future, I think as soon as 2028, but likely 2032, this America First Christian nationalist movement is going to take over the GOP, and it's going to win an election. It's going to be everything that MAGA said it would be, and more. Now the traitors. This is what we can look for on the horizon for the political landscape, and this is what you need to be committed to and working towards.
Okay. All right. Hey. That's solid. That's solid. Yeah. He must have been on the second call. He must have been. You know that second call. He's the Christ in his name, but that's the only thing.
You've been talking on the show about whether Trump is the Antichrist. On the show, the day after Easter, you noted He did not put his hand on the Bible during his swearing ceremony as president. He said, and I'm quoting, maybe he didn't put his hand on the Bible because he had one of the Ruler Jack books inside that book. And then on the Reason show, he went further saying, here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods, and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist?
I actually did not say that it's the Antichrist. Here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods, and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist? Well, who knows? I don't know where that comes from, but those words never left my lips because I'm not sure it's more than the Antichrist to be if one actually tried to and then said, I'm not testing that, I'm not going on that because I don't understand it.
Another hit for Luna.
Hey, Joel, he needs some help. Hey, he needs some help. Hey, go get some help.
The Republican leaders had noticed that a crowd had gathered on the river. They're about to stone her to death. What's going on here?
Behind you. A nice deep
And the
freeze.
crowd said, this woman expects us to pay for her contraceptives with our tax money. We're going to stone her. The Republican leader said, cast no stone. And there is a stone and needy stuff to fix in house. Just throw up a bridge instead. And all of a sudden, the Republican leader spoke to us.
My soul shall not rest yet.
A nice deep freeze.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! You have brought shame upon yourself. It's like the whole shadow.
This is democracynow.org and use it. The Justice Department has filed Second President Trump's $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS. In January, the president's son filed suit seeking restitution from the federal government alleging reputational and financial harm and public embarrassment as a result of the releasing of their tax returns by a government contractor in 2019. Now, a possible settlement on the table where the president will drop his lawsuit in exchange for an agreement by the IRS to drop audits of the Trump family and their businesses, as well the creation of a $1.7 billion fund to compensate people Trump claims were wrongly targeted by the Biden administration. The fund would reportedly be called the President Donald J. Trump Truth and Justice Commission. It would be led by a Trump-appointed commission. Trump allies who could potentially file claims and be compensated, including attention in general restricted funds on the Congress. The top Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee, Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland, who is also a constitutional law scholar, calls his proposal an illegal political slush fund. Last week, Congress members Raskin and Senator Adam Schiff introduced the Protecting Our Democracy Act to curb the president's profiteering and corruption. For more, we go to Jamie Raskin, Congress member from Maryland. Can you respond to first what is being proposed here, this $1.7 billion fund, who is profit, and then talk about your
Well, the $1.7 billion political swamp fund the Department of Justice, you may take the church of something to the most early movement by the Trump administration after the billions of dollars they would be getting through the crypto schemes and foreign governments. But so let's go back to the beginning. The $10 billion lawsuit against IRS is completely bogus. It's anti-executive. There's nothing to it. There was a private contractor who leaked reports of Donald Trump's tax returns
that Trump had promised to make public, like every other president may have done. He said, I'm going to release my tax returns. Then he said he wouldn't. The IRS didn't do anything with his private contractor to release some of the details, and he's in prison. He went to jail for it. There's no private right of action under this statute, and it's happening to lots of people. So the idea that it's $10 billion that he's going to order the Secretary of Treasury to order the IRS to ridiculous. There's nothing to trace, but then they stated that mythical $10 billion they seem to be paid for dropping real criminal investigations into all of the corruption or some of the corruption that the Trump government engaged in, and then also to the participation of this $1.7 billion trust fund. Well, there are 1,600 people getting pardoned, and they want a $1.7 billion trust fund. This comes to $1 million in terms of the Proud Boys for the insurrections with $100 million left over taxpayer money that spread around in different ways. Congress never voted to appropriate that money. We control the powers of spend. We never see that, and we never would. There's no way you can ever get that out of Congress. So they're using the judgment fund of the United States, which is for valid verdict against the United States, for valid person. He's simply throwing money on these private political militia. They're street-fighting militia who went to battle for them on January 6, 2021. And what do you know, right before this election, they wanted to salary these people with $1 million in. I mean, this is an outrage. It's a scandal. It's also unconstitutional because the 14th Amendment says in Section 4 that no money shall go to pay for insurrection or rebellion. Now, that, of course, was in the week of the Civil War, but written in general terms, basically, their team is the insurrectionary army.
And you were there, Congressman, during the arresting on January 6th, right? Along with your daughter and your now son-in-law, taking shelter from the insurrection.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I remember it well. And this is all part of the whitewash and the attempt to sanitize what had happened. I mean, there were Republicans like Ted Cruz who were calling it terrorism. They lived through it. They saw exactly what happened, and they were basically saying, hey, guys, we went a little bit too far with this. This is dangerous. People died. Officers lost their lives. And now, they're all with Donald Trump and saying it was a day of hugs and kisses and love. It sounds like Woodstock on Capitol Hill. They should have struck.
Bro, there's one haircut that every black boy has had to endure.
Are you ready to hunt?
Graded and cursed. Scalp reading on bounties.
Nigga, it's the silly ball.
Half guard against the paraded round. It's like you see this thing stop. Damn, and they pushed this shit back. It wasn't enough that they just scalp little girls, but they pushed his shit back. You can see where his hair used to go back in. Oh God, the savage with the big eyes. This is not a very
We are only given so many chances to shine.
Every young black boy has experienced this. Things are changing now. Things are changing. My son will never experience this. But I do think a lot of white millennials, their sons, this is what they're doing. If only I have no pictures that look like this from this age. Y'all have seen the hair texture. I could have easily had this. Never had it. Never got this hairstyle. Why? No, I got the fucking scalpel thing. I didn't even get the studio. I think I got it. I'm pretty sure I got it. But yeah, the scalpel thing. Today we're going to be reacting to a video, Black Parents' Obsession with Loneliness. What is this? Because I don't think it's just a style. There's something deeper with it. And of course, racism, white supremacy, and trying to learn to fight the girls without offending you and for your distance and the these guys will be everything that only distinguishes them from the enemy. And chase the goal for skin, no part, and try to forget. Here it's not like this. So, I want to the question of why are they not shooting glasses? So look, right now, but what's funny, but without my you know, do that shit, nigga, explain to my mom, lowering out some my language with dreads, don't respect our mom, bro, that's what it is, bro. My mom, I'm cutting my hair, like, yeah, take yourself, I'm dreadhead, nigga. Fuck all the dreadheads, nigga. I'm not dreading that shit, no. We back to win game, nigga. We drag ass sheep. I'm feeling that cutting hair. That nigga don't respect our mom, that's what it is, bro.
So you guys, at some point, someone told you to expect that even this a couple months on it, and it took a while to get this drink on the way and chill you a little bit, but the then parents tell you need to cut it and do something for hair, you can't have it out. You know, it's all haircut, it's low haircut, and go to this, you know, so you trying to blow it out, trying to do whatever like most long-time haircuts at the time. And this is a common thing. So I'm glad you still feels the blood board and just see how probably watching the experience in the right now. So you have to change over now so your opinion is not going to.
They always teach you when you're trying to ground your hair. You gotta go through the ugly phase, man. When you're growing that shit out, there's gonna be an ugly period, but it's pushing the process. Right? But that's when they're like it's done to cut, right? And you cut it off, you got a little bit on the inside, but you go for this. Yeah, I think the reason why so many black guys growing out their hair now, bro, the other day, right, I went to the mall, and I just noticed, you know, every black dude they grow their hair out over this, they have all hair. They have a thread, or braids, or an afro, or curls. They all have it on the right? Guys under the age of 40. And I think this is because society is getting to a place where you're not demonized to the same extent. Either that or black people stop caring much. I think it's probably overseas. And so it's like once you've been shackled for so long, now you want to embrace it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's a big reason why you see so many black men, young black men for here. And what's the matter? I'm gonna be out on the streets. I'm not going to the goodness journey. No, look at saying, but still get more women than y'all niggas with drag.
So a lot of times they'll say you can't hide your hair out because it's not presentable. Or it seems like there's some Canada where everybody has to go through this. I'm sure there's some people that y'all probably like, I never had to go through that. But some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Sure. You just have